So before we get into this video, I just want to say this is my own personal top 5 maps in Call of Duty Zombies. So if you disagree with anything that I put on this list, please don't put hate in the comments. Don't make 12 accounts and just dislike with every single account, because you've got to put into consideration this is my own personal top 5. If you have a suggestion of a map that should have been on this list, or disagree with a map that is on this list, please feel free to put it down in the comment section below. Even put down your top 5 favourite maps if you feel so inclined. But yeah, just put into consideration that this is my own personal top 5 maps. So without further ado, these are the top 5 maps in Call of Duty Zombies. So coming into our number 5 spot, we have Carrier. Now the reason I've put Carrier into our number 5 spot is I couldn't think of any other maps besides Carrier to put here. Now the reason I put Carrier here, and I could have put Kino and I could have put Nacht, they were two very close calls for this map, but the reason I put Carrier is because Exo Zombies, let's be honest, was a bit of a flop. I think it was overhyped, nobody really enjoyed it as much as Treyarch Zombies, and the Easter eggs were just pitiful, and there wasn't a lot of backstory to the storyline, but Carrier kind of turned around Exo Zombies. The first 2 maps were disgraceful, nobody enjoyed them, the guns were just too bad. There was the problem with the EMP zombies, and overall the maps were just terrible. The Easter eggs were too easy and there was too little in the Easter eggs, especially Burger Town is considered the transit of Exo Zombies, but as soon as Carrier came around with the new grenade features and the infected rounds, which are very similar to dog rounds, it kind of spiced up the story a little, with the new cutscene which had Oz being killed and shot and having a new character pushed in. That kind of set the standards as what we know as Exo Zombies today, and if it wasn't for that we wouldn't have the final boss battle with Oz in Descent, the last Exo Zombies map. But Carrier is definitely the best Exo Zombies map, and we do need to give a bit of credit for Exo Zombies for Carrier. So coming into our 4th position of our top 5 maps on Call of Duty Zombies, we have Der Eisendrache. Now, Der Eisendrache is a very unique map, especially for Black Ops 3, and it has been helped, I'm going to be honest here, it has been helped, especially by the 3 maps that have come into Black Ops 3 Zombies besides Der Eisendrache. Shadows of Evil and Setsuba no Shima, too hard to set up, very tedious, and honestly overall bad maps. The Giant has been remastered twice, so I don't really class that as its own map, although if I did, I probably would put that in this list because I do enjoy the Giant a lot. But Der Eisendrache, now although it does take a lot from Mob of the Dead and Origins, it is very unique as we have the 4 bows. I love 4 wonder weapons in Zombies. I found it very unique in Origins, and I think they should bring it back for maps in the future, maybe DLC 3 or 4, maybe 5, conspiracy theories are everywhere. And the Ragnaroks are very unique. We've got the Wonder Spheres, which the closest thing to a Wonder Sphere is probably like the zipline of Call of the Dead or the gondola on Mob of the Dead. So the Wonder Spheres are so very unique. And overall it's a very, very good map. Now it did bring back the Der Wonder Spheres, the bows are very similar to the staffs, the dragons are technically the dogs, but I think the similarities are honestly what gave this map the great name Der Eisendrache, and what put this map for me in our number 4 spot. Now for our number 3 spot we have Origins. Now Origins is very unique, very, very unique, probably more unique than Der Eisendrache is, honestly. This is a very loved map in the community, and we know this because most people, if not all people, will put this at least in their 5th spot. They will put this in their top 5. Most people do think this map is the greatest map in all time. It's definitely the most loved map of all time, very close to Mob of the Dead. But the thing that I like about Origins is it included 4 wonder weapons. I did go on about this in Der Eisendrache, but this is the first time this ever happened. The 4 different wonder weapons for each player. I thought that was very unique. You could upgrade these wonder weapons. You had the fist punch, I can't remember what it was called, although I never used that and I don't think I have used that. It was still very, very unique. We had the generators, which honestly I thought were a bit annoying. That's kind of what brings this map down for me, and it could have been 2nd, maybe even 1st, but this kind of what brings this map down for me, the generators. But at least it's unique. And honestly, we had a different starting pistol, we didn't have the Mustang size, we had a very OP Mauser, didn't need PhD Flopper for that. you could just go ham with it. It was a very OP pistol, and we had some guns brought back. We had the MP40, the STG, and we had the new boss, which was the Panzer Soldat, which was later brought back into Der Eisendrache. So for our number 2 spot, we have Ascension. Now, Ascension is hated for one reason and one reason only: the monkeys. Now, honestly, if it wasn't for the monkeys, this map could have a chance to be number 1. Actually, the number 1 position that I have does have monkeys. That's a bit of a spoiler there. But the reason I put Ascension at number 2 is because it has the Thunder Gun, for one. The Thunder Gun is, honestly, I say maybe, it probably is my favourite wonder weapon in all of Call of Duty Zombies, and it's only in 2 maps, Kino, Ascension. So Ascension's pretty unique to have a wonder weapon that's only included in 2 maps. Another thing is that it has the Kashishka dolls. I hope I pronounced that right, probably didn't. It also has PhD Flopper, introduced that. PhD Flopper, if you didn't know, is my favourite perk. It has the Lunar Landers, they are very unique. And it's, honestly, I'd say a pretty easy map. Most people think it's very hard due to the monkeys stealing your perks. But when you get to, let's say, about round 20, 30, you go and train near one of the Lunar Landers. It gets so simple, and honestly, it gets never boring. I think Ascension is where I got my highest round on Black Ops 1 Zombies. I actually got 67, I believe, on Ascension, which is not the greatest, I know, but for Ascension that's pretty high. And honestly, this map I think does deserve to be in the number 2 spot. So coming into our number 1 position, we have Shangri-La. Now I know I have watched 5 top 5s before coming into this. I watched 5 of the best maps in Call of Duty Zombies, 5 of the worst maps by the same YouTuber, and 5 of the YouTubers I watched, whether they were really big, really small, put Shangri-La in their worst 5 maps. Now, I disagree. I think Shangri-La is the best map in Call of Duty Zombies, and this is my reason why. Remember, this is only my opinion. Shangri-La introduced the baby gun. Now, on its own, the baby gun is a pretty OP gun. It's the only gun in all of Call of Duty Zombies to literally have 0 damage. Like, the baby gun has no damage at all because it shrinks the zombies, but you can kick them for miles and they will die instantly. I think it's pretty OP. The thing I hate about this gun is that the zombies can still damage you, which I think is a bit of an annoying feature. This had waterfalls, which were very unique. It had traps. Not in the sense of they would kill zombies, in the sense that you would get stuck inside of them, so it's a very, very hard to maneuver map, and I like that. I like maps that are difficult, mainly because of the reason that, just say I'm on Der Eisendrache, I go, oh, I got to around 50 on Der Eisendrache, everyone's like, yeah, we'll just camp with the lightning bow. But on this map, if you said you got to round 20, I would be impressed. This map is so difficult. We had, like I said, we had the traps. We also had the changing perk locations, which I thought was very, very unique. We also had the monkeys, which honestly were a bit annoying, but when you could get them to have the free perk, which was difficult to do, or you could get the max ammo, then it was very helpful. We also had the Pack-a-Punch, which was honestly very unique. Now, I wouldn't normally say a Pack-a-Punch was unique, but this Pack-a-Punch is. And there are a lot more things I can go on about this map, and PhD floppers in this map. Any map with PhD flopper is immediately scaled up. As soon as that's PhD flopper, it goes from like my 20th map to like my 8th. Yeah, so it has PhD flopper, and there's not a lot of training spots. Like I said, it makes this map hard, and overall, I would say this map deserves my number 1 spot. Put in the comment section what you liked, what map you think deserved to be in the number 1 spot, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.